Hello, it's a dark episode for August the 17th, 2025, and I had a good day. I actually did a review. Theo, psst, 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 psst. Theo, don't go that way. Come this way. I actually did a review of Tipping the Velvet. I was like, oh, I have to prepare. I have to do this. It's like, no, just press record and start talking about the book. Well, remind myself that Sarah Waters is a Welsh novelist and not just say British or English and get that key fact wrong. So at least I did that. But then, I just talked about the book, and that went well. So tomorrow, goal is to try and do another one as concise, maybe, about Niles, The Wonderful Adventures of Niles. That would be the next one to do, I think. And if I can do that, then I can continue on from there. Just do little kind of, this is what I thought of this book kind of stuff. Other than that, we did some grooming of the dogs today. Shira has been shorn, especially. That was really good. I'm into The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, which I have said on my Goodreads thing at the 18% point. It's like horny Starship Troopers at Ender's Academy with dragons. And yeah, it's very military fantasy, and in the sense of the kind of conservatism, the kind of, only the weak shall be called kind of zero-sum game that a certain kind of conservative thought comes with, which kind of jars against me. Very military, very much like these are children and we're putting them into the military kind of thing. It's not children, but it's like young people, and this is very much a boot camp situation where we're stripping away your ties to the outside world, and you're only going to be loyal to your wing. And we've got two hunky guys around this female. And I mean, the thing I admire about The Hunger Games, the actual novels by Suzanne Collins, is that right? Is that they were books about, children in life or death situations, but it was really about the kind of the consequences of said violence, and it wasn't trying to weld Katniss into a military unit in a very true way. The end of those novels kind of shows her complete rejection of that, and also the lingering trauma damage that all this had on her, like the consequences of violence, both the big political stuff, but also just on a very personal, molecular level for that character. So I'll read the first book in this series, and we'll just see how much of this is kind of pushing a traditionalist, in the same way that kind of zombie books, I kind of jar against zombie books because they're usually about how, men are men and we have to, the family, and bashing anything outsiders, and anything that's weak must be culled because it's a survival situation. It's like these authors write things in a certain way that, well, of course we have to cull the weak. Of course we have to do that. And it's just like, you're saying that for this particular situation, but I feel like you're trying to popularize a certain viewpoint of the world outside of the highly contrived setup that you've done in this book. Let's see. We'll see what Rebecca Yarros is doing there. How conservative a bent. I said Ender's Game because I thought of what's his nuts, who is a very arch conservative. Ender's Game, Orson Scott Card, and there's a way in which, especially for Ender's Game, not so much Speakers of the Dead. It's like it's very much kind of manipulating the reader in a highly way to say like, well, it has to be this way. You have to commit genocide because it's the existence of the human race, where in our day-to-day thing, it's not, there's a lot of things that people justify of we're going to wipe out these people because it threatens us. And it's like, yeah, but does it really threaten you? Or is that just a bullshit excuse that you've put forward so you can extinguish something that threatens you, but doesn't really, that causes you, makes you feel threatened, but isn't actually really a threat? Or, there'd be an option of actually just peaceful coexistence that because you're in a position of power, you're choosing not to exercise. That sort of thing. So yeah. So food for thought on that part for the book, but we shall see. All right, I'll leave it there. More videos later.